for helping out today. You'll get the latest episode of the Bill Squire Show up there as well, and the newest Poundcake podcast, which is also available for you on the iHeartRadio app. If you listen to the show on the app from somewhere other than Ohio, tell me where you do that. Kimberly is one of our bureau chiefs in Erie, Pennsylvania. Ryan is in Appleton, Wisconsin. Mackenzie listens in Medford, Oregon. Lori's in Albuquerque, and Tanya is brand new in Clayton, North Carolina. So thanks. We will be out on Monday. That'll be your afternoon Cavs game, 3 o'clock tip-off against the Nets downtown at the Romo Fijo. But the remainder of the week, I'll have tickets for you to see that Static X show.
Just got a pair of tickets for the Cavs game.
Oh, yeah? For which one? For Monday?
Monday, yeah.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to go with Grandma.
Static X at the House of Blues in March. Tears for Fears is going on the road with Garbage in May. They'll play Blossom. I'll have those tickets for you later on. And more Monsters tickets. They're going to play the Lehigh Valley Phantoms. Monsters Family Day, February the 26th. It's my youngest brother's birthday. So all that. But today I'll still have Volbeat and Ghost passes for you if you want to go see them in Columbus. WWE. Monday Night Raw. We'll have the Bill Squire Friday Get Down later on. Mary Santora live and in person for that, second week in a row.
The way she likes it.
Is today the day, by the way?
Today is the day.
Today's the day.
Today is 1 year since my dad died.
And how you doing?
I'm actually okay.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was, like I said, usually it's the day leading up to the whatever the event is or the date or the anniversary that's rough, like
It's
Tuesday.
the anticipation of it?
Yeah, and it's always on your mind, and then you kind of like just get it over with.
Get it over with.
Well, it was a rough holiday season, and his birthday's in October, and then all the rest of the holidays, and so this feels like the last thing, and then we get a break for a while. No birthdays, no celebrations, no nothing, at least until Father's Day in June. So a little bit of not having to focus on it so much, but
But it's no more firsts.
it's no more firsts. This is the last of the firsts, which is fantastic. But my whole family's coming into town. My one brother just got here. My other brother's going to be here in a couple hours. So, yeah, we're going to...
Lots of stories Tuesday.
Lots of stories Tuesday from whatever's going to go on this weekend. I'm excited about that. But, yeah, so I posted... videos all across my social media, if you guys are following me, of probably my favorite joke that I've ever written is the first time I've ever released any Dead Dad material. And I was like, you know what? That was kind of the mood I'm in today, where I'm like, we're going to joke around. I know my family has a dark sense of humor, and we're going to make the best of our time together this weekend. And
It's the first time you posted Dead Dad material?
Yes. Yes. It's everywhere, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. But... yeah, I kind of woke up and I wasn't as sad as I thought I was going to be. So that's when I put on that 70s music and I was kind of dancing around and just kind of remembering him in ways that were fun today, which is not always how grief works. Sometimes it's very, very sad, but today's not one of those days.
Did you also put on episodes of That 70s Show?
No, not the same. Just the 70s music.
To watch the awkward interaction between a 19-year-old Ashton Kutcher and a 14-year-old Mila Kunis, who are now married with children.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Do you think they smashed during that time?
No.
No, they
didn't even, really...
get along.
Yeah. Well, they were like brother and sister.
Brother and sister is
yeah.
what they always said.
Yeah, but that's what they say.
Well, no, she was 14 years old. She's like, my first kiss was Ashton Kutcher on network television. And then she was with Macaulay Culkin for a decade.
And Ashton Kutcher was also a very popular young man, so I don't think he was looking to just be with
a 14-year-old.
Yeah, a 14-year-old at that time.
Yeah, be like your sister.
Yeah.
Oof. Oh, he was so hot back then. I like.
Is he a good-looking guy? Like, obviously
Yeah.
he
He was a
is.
model
No, I
first.
know he was a model in Iowa. I mean,
Yeah, he's hot.
But is he? He's a good-looking dude
In Iowa.
Okay, that's where he's from.
But how are you just a model in one state?
I don't know. You're in like a local department store's underwear spread. I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, a lot of people are local. We got local models in Cleveland.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
make a little bit of money on it, but I mean, he seems like an affable chap.
Oh, he's beautiful.
And okay, well, that's why I'm asking, because it's like, obviously he's not ugly.
No, he's a good-looking dude.
Okay.
For sure.
He's beautiful?
He's pretty hot.
See, to me, he looks like 100 other dudes.
He does. He
But
has
that's the
that
allure of
typical. He looks like a quarterback or like.
And the fact
any
that he's
hot
funny,
dude.
the fact that he's funny just.
Wait, so what makes him beautiful is that he looks like a whole bunch of other people?
I didn't say that. I'm saying that he
He
definitely
said that's
does
the allure
look.
of. Yeah, okay.
But no,
he's got a boy next. They call it the boy next door.
Yes,
look.
he looks like a bunch of other guys, but there's something
But
about him that
good-looking guys,
has
though.
him but there's something about him that makes him stand out as well.
Because he's not missing a trait when it comes to his face. Like everything's
His face is
in order.
perfect.
Yeah,
That
he's got the
jawline.
cheekbones, the jawline,
Smile.
a nose, smile, eyes, all that stuff.
Like Bill has really thought this through.
Hey,
the plot twist here is
damn
how
it, Jackie!
the plot twist is how much Bill has put some thought into.
No,
this.
because I watched that 70s show with my ex-girlfriend when I was in high school, and she loved that show, and she thought he was beautiful. So she would pretty much explain to me why. But I was also very into Laura Prepon and Mila Kunis too.
Yeah,
so.
he's super hot. Now I'm like looking at pictures of him. He's a good looking dude.
I didn't really watch that 70s show more than a couple of episodes. But I remember years ago when I was, this was before I'd moved to Cleveland, so I was still in Chicago. And I was backstage at Lollapalooza because I was doing a few stage announcements. And Danny Masterson was back there.
Did he rape you?
He did not, but I'll tell you what, I stood there because he was like doing a DJ set somewhere or something, and there was always a bunch of different people walking around. So I'm standing back there, and I'm talking to Perry Farrell, and Danny Masterson is kind of hovering around, and he comes around too. And so the three of us are standing there talking. And then invariably somebody will want to, either you have official photographers are taking photos of things all the time. And so there's a photo of the three of us. And I got to tell you, when that whole Danny Masterson thing happened, I was like, oh my God, where is that photo of me and Perry Farrell and Danny Masterson?
It's like everyone met Epstein. Everyone who took a picture with Epstein is implicated.
All of a sudden, I was Trump and Clinton. Yeah,
You're in there, boy.
I was like, oh God, is that? I mean, I
Don't
didn't
cancel him.
I didn't get a copy of it, and I'm sure everything having to do with that guy was scrubbed at some point. But I did think of that when he started going through all that being accused of rape. I was like, oh my God, I took a couple of photos with that guy 15 years ago. Who knew if he was raping people then? Who knew what he was doing in those VIP tents?
It's always the question.
It's always the question. The VIP tents back there at Lollapalooza.
Well, who's doing the raping?
I mean, that's a really good question. Well, according to those women, we know who.
Yeah.
So I don't know where. You
Well,
know
they
who?
probably know where to.
I meant location, not part of the body.
No, I mean, I meant location
Well,
too.
who's doing the raping?
I'm sure that's.
I'm
part
sure
of
they
the-
do too. Yeah.
They can't just be like, "Well, I was raped," and they're like, "Well, where did that happen?" Oh,
Show me on the doll.
Show me on the map.
Right. They are predicting possibly one of the coldest NFL games in history on Saturday.
Sweet.
When the Patriots play the Buffalo Bills. We're going to be in New York we're going to be in New York City over the weekend, and I've been really looking at the forecast because there's supposed to be tons of snow moving through. It's supposed to be in New York City. It's supposed to be in the 40s. So I'm hoping we'll get rain, and whatever band that is will miss us or whatever. That might be a little too optimistic, but they're supposed to get a lot of snow way up in Buffalo, which is where the game is going to happen. And they said that they're projecting that the high for the game will be 12 degrees.
So it's gonna be super cold and a snowstorm's coming in.
Yeah. This is the AFC wildcard game. So it's the
Yes.
Patriots and the Buffalo Bills.
I remember my dad and I used to go to the Browns game for my birthday. We usually played the Steelers. My birthday's in November. So it was November 25th. End of November, beginning of December. And the one year it was so cold, my beer was ice. It was a slushy
Really?
beer. And we always sat in the dog pound, and we were sitting in the dog pound, and I was so freezing cold. It was like, I don't know if it was negative or like in the single degrees in the stadium, but I couldn't even drink my beer because it was half ice.
And that's when she was 10.
It's crazy.
Diehard Browns fans.
That's how we start, you
Give
know?
my 10-year-old daughter a beer.
Shut up, I'm her dad.
Shut up about it.
I can do what I want.
So the game is tomorrow night. And they're saying, so 12 degrees they're projecting to be the high. So at 8:15 at night, they're saying it could be around 4 degrees with 12-mile-per-hour winds.
So that
which
wind
is gonna,
chill's negative.
Yeah, and then it's only going to get colder from there. So let's say it's 4 degrees at kickoff, a little bit after 8 o'clock. By the end of that game, it'd be really, really cold. Which might not be. Listen, Buffalo, they're used to cold weather, obviously, but that's very, very cold.
That's I don't care how used to cold weather you are. That's not fun.
Doesn't that make players like way more accident prone too? Like that, if their muscles are all cold and tight and.
Yeah, it's terrible conditions for
bad conditions,
multiple reasons.
Yeah,
because then there's a lot of slipping too. There's just.
It's me 9 fans in the stands.
Nope, it'll be packed.
It could be one of the. They say it might crack the top 10 for coldest games of all time. I think a good 5 of the top 10 games have been at Lambeau Field, where the Packers play.
And then the other 5 are probably in
Minnesota.
Minnesota always plays inside.
Oh yeah.
So they only had like 1 or 2 seasons. I mean, back in the day they played outside, but they were in like a transitional year a couple of years ago where they played outside. But,
what is Riverfront Stadium? Is that St. Louis?
Riverfront.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Anyway, Lambeau Field played a game New Year's Eve 1967. It was 13 below.
Dude.
So a lot of those games played at Lambeau Field, and John Facenda would call those games for NFL Films. Lambeau Field. Hey, let me go to Scat. Hello.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, Scat?
Cincinnati.
Hey, so I had a question with all this. Like you just brought up Danny Masterson, and in the news recently what was his name? Epstein and all that.
Yeah.
I wonder. It's way out of left field, but I'm wondering if there's any kind of connection with. Do you remember that girl from the TV show Smallville? Her and that guy had that sex cult thing.
Yeah,
that Nexium sex cult. Yeah,
Nexium. Oh man, I couldn't remember the name of that to save my life. But yeah, I'm wondering if like any of that, like, because it just seems to be getting bigger and bigger and more, celebrities or people all in this. And then I'm like, man, does it go all the way back as far as? Well,
listen, I mean, you're talking about Allison Mack, who was this actress that literally, unless you watch Smallville, you had no idea who she was. So I don't know that implies there's some huge, as much as the Q-nuts would love to think that everybody who's famous is having sex with children.
Yeah, that was more of an isolated incident.
Yeah, it's just not the case. Yeah. I mean, some things never change, man. Rich people are always going to have access to whatever they want. And if some of those rich people also want really young girls, they're going to get them. So, my wife watched that Nexium documentary. I didn't watch it, but I heard it was pretty good.
It just, to me, seems like it's just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm like, man, how deep into all of it is.
But what do you mean by bigger and bigger?
Yeah, I don't know that it's getting bigger and bigger. I think I feel like they're getting more information on the same people.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like you get, as these stories continue and they get more heavily investigated, you're just hearing about the same people. Like now it's Prince Andrew. He's the guy over there in England where the Queen has stripped him of all of his titles and all of his stuff.
Sacrifice him to save all the other rich, powerful people around.
But not even sacrifice. Like Ghislaine Maxwell is going to start like naming names.
She's not.
So, okay, I read a thing today. They're like, she has no interest in keeping John Doe's John Doe anymore.
Nah, she's not going to snitch.
I'm just, we have death pools, like who's next and all that. Pretty soon there'll be, rape pools. Who's going to come out next as the next guilty person of doing something they shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Scat. But I will, I'm sure it'll be out there and the information will be whatever. No, Ghislaine Maxwell won't fight to keep the John Doe names sealed, was what I was reading. But she didn't flip on anybody.
So she's not going to rat on him. She's just going to say, hey, you can open this up and we're not going to...
Yeah, I'm not going to need power in the first place.
She knows things. I mean...
But snitching and like not fighting to keep documents sealed are two different things.
Well, she fought to do that.
She don't remember.
She fought to do that while she was having her trial. But now that she's convicted, there's no reason to do that anymore. She's like, well, I'm going to jail. I don't care who else is out. Yeah, right. Because the woman who accused Prince Andrew I think, or the person who's at the center of that, she's the one who requested to unseal all these documents that name 7 guys. And Ghislaine Maxwell was like, well, I'm not going to tell you who these people are. She was trying to keep them quiet. I guess hoping that maybe, I don't know what she was hoping. But there were 7 people who, they know who they are. And they're probably sweating a little bit over this. But I don't know.
An accusation is just an accusation. Where's the proof?
You mean the photo proof? There's a lot of people in pictures.
Could have been photoshopped.
Photoshopped.
Now who's a sex defender?
Yeah, this guy over here.
Prince Andrew?
Yeah, Mr. Anti-Conspiracy Theory.
This dude said, I had a burst of adrenaline and it stopped me from sweating during that time period. It's impossible for me to sweat. Prince Andrew is
is that what he said? I just saw a headline about he's fighting the sweat allegations. I was like, what the hell is that?
He has to prove that now because he said that in an interview because the girl described him as
sweaty?
He was an awful dancer and he was like...
no one's going to argue that point.
He said he was dripping with sweat, and he was like, first off, I wasn't there. And even if I was, that would be quite impossible for me to sweat, because when I served during whatever war he fought in or whatever.
The Falkland Islands?
Whatever. He's like, I don't have the ability to sweat because I lost that because I have a burst of adrenaline. And during that time period, I didn't. This is what he said. Don't look at.
No, I think it's an amazing point to hinge your defense on.
Well, he didn't know at that time. He thought the lawsuit was going to get dismissed.
Right.
So now because he said that on TV and people are going back to that, like, can you prove you couldn't sweat? Do you have doctors? Like notes? So now he has to prove that. Otherwise, it's going to look like he's lying under oath.
Your Honor, we call to the stand the C&C Music Factory.
Because I can't wait for that deposition.
They said that they could make anyone sweat. Once the rhythm took control and the music moved you, they said on film, they said publicly that no matter who you were, they were going to make you sweat. It's a hostile witness, Your Honor. a witness for the prosecution. David Coles and Clavillis have to come up here and be deposed in the Prince Andrew trial.
I can't believe you didn't see that Newsnight interview.
No, I'm not watching Prince Andrew. I'm still fascinated that people give a fat frog's ass about the Royals. Like,
I don't care about the Royals. He's
a royal.
Old. Yeah, huh? I wasn't watching because
I didn't care about
a royal.
I didn't care about. But I'm saying a lot of people do. They
really do.
They hang on every word of like Meghan Markle and her ginger husband. I don't care. Couldn't care less.
The weddings they have, people go crazy for them.
Because they are invested in them literally.
But
they take money out of their taxes.
We're talking about people in America.
Over here, not over there.
Because we don't have royalty here, and it's
so what?
But it's
who
not
needs royalty?
interesting. It's not cool.
A bunch of rich inbreds.
Yeah,
like who cares?
They don't mean
We have poor
anything.
inbreds.
That's the American way.
Right.
We have American celebrities that people can fawn over.
We have the Kardashians. They're the closest thing this country has to royalty.
You keep saying that, and I still don't know what you mean.
Well, the story, there's like a story that's going around right now. It's like I think we talked about it. The more you worship celebrities, the dumber you are.
Yes. I don't know if that's a chicken or the egg situation, but yeah, they're like they've studied people who are really into celebrities, and they're not all that bright. Or maybe not bright people in general, just really are into celebrities. But who knows?
I wonder, can there be...
And you're not going to... somebody points out, you're not going to Photoshop Polaroids, by the way. And I think that technology is still... has escaped us.
But I loved it. Like, I loved that interview. Not because it was Prince Andrew, because I didn't even know who he was before I watched The Crown. I didn't know there was a Prince Andrew. What I found fascinating is the fact that he was caught, and I want to see the spin. Like, I want to see what he has all the resources that a person could possibly have. I want to see what lawyers and PR people are, like what publicists are advising him to say. And he just, either he was not prepared for it, people quit on him, or he was just like, I got this. Don't worry. Like, they're going to love me.
And what part of that do you find interesting?
Just the lies that he knew he was lying, and he was like trying to sell it to us. Now he has to prove it, and I just love that I love that it's going forward because it's just going to be
this
so
is
much
all.
content.
This is just somebody else having the rug pulled out from under him, is what you're saying.
But it's not. I mean,
No, it
do you
is.
feel
I mean-
bad for him?
Huh?
Do you feel bad for this dude?
I'm entirely indifferent to him. I don't know anything about him. Is he the Queen's son?
Yes, he's the.
So he's Charles's brother?
He's the middle child.
Okay.
Yes.
Now I know 100% more about him than I did 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, I think he
Stripped of his military titles,
honorary.
stripped of his royal and yeah, but he still probably gets money from the family, and But they're saying now that he has to pay for his own security because they're just they're cutting him loose. Like, you wanted 14-year-old girls on your own now.
She was 17 when I groomed her, ma'am.
Ma'am.
Your Highness. She was 17.
I was studying her belly button at the time because I was enrolled in the Naval College. Get it?
I don't know.
British stiff upper lip humor that they're so known for.
I don't know how he's going to do
Get it, Mary? Naval College?
I heard.
Naval
what you
College,
said.
Mary.
I understand.
The Naval College.
Believe me.
They have a campus in Florida. Yeah, again, I'm not lying to you. I know way more about Prince Andrew right now than I did.
Well, watch The Crown.
I don't care about I don't care.
He was the Queen's favorite. Like, he was the Queen's favorite child. And now look what happened.
That's what you get.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying. I don't know how he's going to do it. He's in his, 50s, 60s, 70s, and he has had no job.
61 years old.
He has had no job his entire life. Now, all of a sudden, he better have saved his money because he has to pay for lawyers and his own security and keep up, like, his house. He has to move out of the royal residence. Where is he going to live? I don't want him in my neighborhood. Wow. Fascinating.
Yeah, okay. Well, you've certainly convinced yourself that it is. This says he's 9th in line of succession to the British throne. Imagine that. You have no path to running anything.
Well,
Harry was
ninth
Live
in
off
line.
royal money and have a life. Whatever.
Well, that's according to Poundcake, that's all coming to an end. All because he wanted to dip his wick out there with the Epstein
young
and
chick.
Trump and Clinton, yeah. Okay, let me break here. I will have those Volbeat and Ghost tickets for you. They're on a co-headlining tour. That is not two separate shows. It's going to get them to Columbus. They're going to play the Nationwide Arena down there. So if you want to get to the Ghost and Volbeat show, a couple of tickets after the break, and then 4:30 is going to be the next chance for you to grab some more money. Another keyword coming for you to go fund yourself with $1,000.
It's the Alan Cox